Alright you guys, and welcome back to another video. And today I wanted to go over a lot of the updates that came out this week about the game. We had a roadmap roundup and we had an episode of Inside Star Citizen. And I'm not going to react directly to the episode of Inside Star Citizen. I'll leave a link to it in the video description below, as well as a link to this page. I always try my best to put the resources below the video in the description, but I highly suggest you guys watch that episode of Inside Star Citizen. It's a pretty good episode. Even though it covered some stuff that we already knew about, it is essentially going over the persistent hangars and some of the gameplay workflows that is changing with Alpha 3.24. But I wanted to take some screenshots of that aUEC and go into a little bit more detail of the UI and go over some features and also talk a little bit about the roadmap changes. Okay, so to kick things off, I'm not going to worry about too much of that. So the things that they added to the release view on the 4.0 cards are the Zeus Mk II CL, acidic caves, rock caves, asteroid bases, which kind of came out of left field for me, and space station contested zones. Now there's some pretty interesting things here, and acidic caves I think are really interesting. These are going to be kind of like the sand caves that they brought in, kind of updating those new design language for the way caves are going to be, to make them a little bit more unique, locations for exploration, FPS missions, missing persons, and more that they say here, as well as rock caves. It's going to be the same thing, but these rock caves are going to more likely replace the rock caves that we have now, across Stanton, and the Pyro system will have these as well. Now, asteroid bases, it says here, implemented new asteroid bases scattered across space in asteroid clusters, gas clouds, and other areas of Pyro. From exploration type gameplay to mission based locations, these bases include both constrained interiors for potential FPS conflicts as well as space combat while reaching or floating from the location. Now that's going to be pretty interesting. I think the gameplay is going to be kind of similar to maybe the 0G gameplay we have in Arena Commander. That will be very interesting. I think again, asteroid bases, asteroid hangars is something I know a lot of players have been looking forward to for a long time, so I want to see how they implement that. Then we have space station contested zones. This is very interesting to me. Contested zones are, well, let me zoom in a little bit on this. Contested zones are a location feature coming to Pyro Space Station, introducing FPS gameplay with various layouts tailored for this purpose. The zones will feature a progression system requiring tokens to unlock different zones, giving access to the loot inside. Collecting all of the tokens will allow a player to open the final door and claim the grand prize. Now, I'm not entirely sure how this is actually going to be implemented, because in this description it sounds kind of like an Arena Commander mode and not so much like something that would be in the PU with these kinds of tokens that you need to acquire to progress. So we'll see how they actually implement that and make it immersive. I'm really not too sure about that, but it's different, and I do appreciate the gameplay team trying something different when they can. And then of course, gotta save the best for last. The ship that I'm probably most interested in right now, most excited about, aside from the Polaris and the Galaxy, has got to be the Zeus Mk II CL. Okay, building, balancing, and implementing our-size small multi-crew cargo ship, the Zeus Mk II CL, into the game. Now, this is going to be a big one for a lot of people because it has good cargo, it has good shields, it has good weaponry. Hopefully, it does not fly like a brick. It does look fairly aerodynamic. So if CIG gave it terrible handling, that would be unfortunate. I do know that the Constellation series, those are not my favorite ships to fly, if I'm being perfectly honest with you guys. The Constellation series, they're not the most fun ships to fly. Their handling is not amazing. So hopefully the Zeus series, RSI is kind of trying to step up their game and be more competitive, and these ships don't fly too bad. More than likely they will fly a little bit worse than the Crusader ships, of course, because Crusader ships are it's kind of their thing that they fly better than they look. You look at the C2. The C2 is not it's not a ship that should fly as good as it does, but somehow it has the handling for it. So again, I'm still very excited about the Zeus Mk II CL. It is probably going to be a lot of people's main medium cargo ship, something a step down from a Taurus. So I think that a lot of people are going to be very interested in. Again, has more cargo space than a 400i, more cargo space than a Corsair, more cargo space than an MSR. So if you again comparing it to those ships that are larger, that more likely will require some type of crew, will have a little bit more engineering, this ship is probably going to be appealing to a lot of people. So now I want to switch gears a little bit and start to take a look at some of the images that were shown during ISC, going over the new hangars, the new persistent hangars. All right, so during ISC, they kind of went through the entire gameplay loop of waking up in your hab, going down the elevator, going to an item bank, and getting your items. So this is essentially the screen that a lot of the Evocati have been looking at. They've recently updated it, and we will look at that as well. But essentially, you go up to the screen, you have two sides, warehouse side, and then you have the drawer side. The drawer side is essentially an interactable box that you move everything over into. So you have your weapons here. You're looking for, this LH86 pistol. You grab it, you drag it over to the box, and then once it's there, you go, or click on it, move to drawer, and then you have a button here that has open drawer. So you can back out of the screen, and you'll also have this, UI element here. You can go up, tap F, and that will open up this box. And then you'll be brought into essentially the old inventory screen, kind of like what we have now. But instead of you being in a magical inventory, this is the box that you moved everything over into. So from that screen, you go here, and you can drag these items directly onto your character. These are the core and leg armor, of course. And here's another kind of better picture of it, more updated. You could see here the capacity is 1,000 SCU, and you have search functionality. And the way CIG describes it, it is kind of like elastic search. So you can kind of type in, let's say you're looking for a helmet, you could type in HEL, and it will populate everything that is that has those letters in it, because it's based on names. So when you're searching for something, you type in the name of what that item is, or the exact name of that thing. So if you're looking for your LH86, you can just type in LH86, and that'll come up, and you can drag it over. Or you can type in Archlight, or you can type in multi-tool, or whatever. And because those things are in the name of the item, when you type it in search, it will populate over here, and then you can drag it over. This is a huge, really good quality of life feature that I think a lot of people are going to appreciate. And they also have filters. So you can see here the filters. You got your undersuits, or undersuits. This looks like clothing, weapons. You have ammo here, you have food here, boxes, different things. So You can go through your filters. You can filter by type, or you can search. So that is, again, going to be a really big quality of life feature. And here's just kind of another view of it. When you, go back, you hit open drawer, takes you to this screen here where it has that kind of external box, and you can drag everything over that you want to onto your character. It's more steps than we have right now, because of course we can just hit I and we have access to our entire inventory over here on the right side. But interacting with the kiosk is not, that big of a deal. It's not too bad in my opinion. And then we kind of move over to these persistent hangars. Okay, so what we have here is kind of like an alcove at the back of the hangar where players have empty space to put their things. I think that was one of the concerns, is that we have these new persistent hangars, but there's where are players going to be able to put things to kind of decorate the space, because there's a lot of set dressing stuff around these hangars. So what CAG has done is that they've kind of made these little alcoves at the back of the hangar, so we can kind of set up the little rooms, empty rooms, that we can actually decorate. Now, apparently different hangars have different layouts. This is the Southland hangar layout, and you can see the cargo elevator over here on the side, and we'll take a look at more hangar layouts as we go through these screenshots. And so what you can see here in this image is you can see the Southland hangar logo here, and you can see this area. We'll just kind of zoom in a little bit. You can see the storage access area here, and behind this barrier is the kiosk to call your ship and stuff like that. So this storage access kiosk area is kind of where you're going to be interfacing with the hangar and stuff like that. So the arrivals coming through here, so you can come from the elevator over here and go straight over here, call your ship, get whatever gear you have in your inventory. So if you don't want to do that in your hab, you don't want to do it in your landing zone, you can do everything from your hangar. Okay, and then we have an image here, a top view of the hangar. So what is kind of interesting here is that you can see that there is actually two alcoves, two open alcoves. In this alcove over here, it looks like they have one of the new hover trolleys kind of set aside in the corner, but this is supposedly a medium hangar because this is a C1 coming into land. You can see the cargo elevator right here. So you're going to have probably on one of these sides your arrivals where you come in through the door, and then you have the cargo elevator here, and you have actually two blank spaces, two open areas that you can decorate, put different stuff. This person has put a hover trolley in this corner. And then we have one of these outposts. So what is changing with these outposts is that we're getting the freight elevators right at the edge of the landing pad. You can see down here there's a little kiosk to interact with the elevator. There's not too much to say about this screenshot, but I think that this implementation is kind of good, does make a bit of sense. You can still see the ramp to drive a vehicle up here on this side right next to the elevator. This looks like the larger pad at the outpost, because you can see a caterpillar has landed here. Yeah, I think it's going to be an interesting implementation around these zones. How safe is it going to be to load out in the open like this? We'll see. And then we have a pretty good visual here of the kiosk, and you can see here the shop quantity, the buying scrap, the available cargo sizes 1 through 24. So this location actually does not have 32 SU cargo boxes for this specific commodity. And again, you can see the totals in units there. There's also waste and different stuff. So again, that's pretty interesting. You can see your current balance up there. You can see your ship. This person has the Corsair. And then we have another image of the inside of the hangar. And I think this is particularly interesting because this is a very different design and layout from the Southland hangar. And as you can see, this is also, I believe this is a medium hangar. We're flying here an MSR. So the MSR and the C1 now share a similar size hangar, but this is a very different layout. Again, this is the air view hangar, not the Southland hangar. This layout has the freight elevator at the back here, some set dressing area here. There are no alcove areas for you to put your stuff, but there is this area here where we can see it looks like this is probably the area where you could put this stuff. And in the ISC, they showed a MPV landed in this area. This looks like an area that you can drive your vehicle off to the side. If it's like a snub ship or a ground vehicle, you can drive it off to the side right here. Okay, and you have your freight elevator here, and you can see the kiosk there to interact with the freight elevator and stuff like that. And then all the way at the back here, you can see the arrivals. This is where you're going to come in the elevator. This is where you're going to have your item banks and whatnot. And it says right here, Dev 1's medium hangar. So it's got the name there and stuff like that. So I think we could learn a little bit from these screenshots here. And over here, it looks like this is the medical elevator. So a lot of these hangars, CAG added medical elevators in as well for medical gameplay and stuff like that. So that is still in these hangars on this side. So the AeroView hangars are a little bit different than the Southland hangars, both medium-sized hangars, but again, very different hangars. There are no, back alcoves for you to put your stuff. So I think it's going to be really interesting for people choosing where their home landing zone is going to be. Because if you choose a place like Crusader or Microtech that have the AirView hangars, it's going to be a different hangar layout than, a Lorville or an ArchCorp that has the Southland hangars. So, yeah, that's something to consider, but I think it's a good looking design. I like the AirView hangar's ability to have this like little, parking space area thing on the side. But, then again, you'll have more space with those two alcoves in the Southland hangar. So again, I'm not entirely sure what it's going to look like, what it's going to be. I'm just kind of, going off of these screenshots here. Okay, and so then we have another commodity screen. This is kind of what you're going to be looking at when you get to the trade division. And so you have, we have a little bit more information here. You have what you have here. So you have, 76 SCU. You have 3 4 SCU boxes and 2 32 SCU boxes. Okay. And you have unloading time 3 minutes and 30 seconds. So you have seconds, minutes, and hours here. And you see the recycled material composite. And you have here in stock, this is the shop inventory. So your inventory, shop inventory, you can sell it there. And so the unloading time, 3 minutes and 30 seconds, that's actually not too bad. So I'm assuming how that workflow is going to work is that when you land at a landing zone, you can essentially store your ship, put it in inventory, and then you can have it automatically unloaded, and you'll get essentially a timer. Or you could manually unload it and put that stuff in the elevator, and send the elevator into your inventory and sell it from your inventory. Now, if you don't plan on immediately reusing that ship, it kind of makes sense, in my opinion, just to store the ship and have it automatically unloaded. Now, what I'm not entirely seeing in this image is the cost, how much it's going to cost to have them unload that. But let me know in the comments below if you can see that detail here. Again, I'm going to be posting these screenshots and leaving a link to it in the video description if you guys want to look at and download some of this stuff. And then we have here in the air view hangar, you have the elevator terminal here. You can see where there is the fire extinguisher and that type of stuff. And again, this is another view of the air view hangar. Again, you can see at the back here is the cargo elevator and kind of like the parking space. One on the side, you can see the large doors there. This is the same MSR this person is putting into storage. You're going to be entering from this side the elevator and entering and exiting from the right side here from the elevator. So this is essentially where you have the ASOP terminal where you can raise and lower your ship. So it again, it's the same layout from what we saw earlier, but just a different perspective. And then here again is the Cephalin one. So you can see again the medical elevator here. You can see the doors here, a bunch of set dressing stuff. Keep clear, you have the cargo elevator here. And essentially what is behind this image here from this perspective, essentially where I am and in this corner are those, two alcoves that you can store your personal items in. And then we have the large elevator, and it has the max capacity here as 1120. But again, we know that the maximum capacity is 1,000. So I'm not entirely sure if there are differences or discrepancies with the elevator max cargo capacity and your personal inventory max item capacity. I don't know if they're different inventories, or if this is mislabeled, or if CIG plans to increase it later. I'm not sure right now. And then again, we have kind of another view of what's going on here. So you have again the shop inventory here, unit price. You have 1 through 32 box size, and so right here they have 32 SU boxes, and they have 31 of them. And the buy price of just the commodity is 134K. So again, I'm not entirely seeing the prices of the manual, but again, it's one of those things that CIG has said that don't worry too much about the pricing on ISC. And then we have here again another image of a player inventory one. So the cargo capacity is 100%, 576 SU out of 576. This is iron, 2 SU containers, 56 units, 45K. They can sell that there. All right, you guys. So that's going to be it for me here in today's video. We're over here taking a look at 4.0 on the release view, and there are a lot of things that is coming out in 4.0. This is going to be 4.0 is going to be one of the biggest patches in a very long time, and I'm really eager to see if CIG can deliver all of that stuff in the time frame that they're aiming for. I don't know. I think it is going to be very difficult. I know that CIG wanted 323 to have all of the stuff that is coming in 324 as well. And you can see 323 was a big patch, but they still were not able to add in the cargo stuff, the personal hangars and elevators and stuff like that. So they had to split it up between 2 patches. It is currently nearing the end of July, and you know, we still have no idea when 3.24 is going to drop, and they're trying to get 4.0 out, you know, potentially before IAE. So you know, I wish them the best of luck. It is, you know, a steep mountain that they're climbing up right now, so you know, we should give them our support or whatever. But I want to hear what you guys think in the comments down below. Thanks for hanging out with me. I don't want to take up any more of your time. You guys know what I say at the end of these videos. You guys like the video if you liked it. Subscribe if you want to see more. It really means a lot to me. And I will see you guys in the next one. Salute.